let's start with understanding the coffee plant itself. And if you look, belongs to the Rubiaceae family. And if you know the story of this coffee plant, while in the eastern part of the world, we are not so familiar with coffee. We are tea drinking nations, Sri Lanka, India, China. We prefer tea over coffee. But if you trace back the history of coffee and how it became one of the most popular drinks in the world, and probably the most consumed drink in the world after petroleum, which is, it's been spreading across the globe in different forms as brands and coffee outlets and coffee shops. But the history of coffee goes back to Ethiopia. Now, there's this amazing story of this goat herder named Kaldi. And he was taking his goats out for grazing in the mountains. And there he found that when his goats were, eating a particular kind of berry, they started jumping and feeling more excited, and they did this all night long. This really worried Kaldi, and he felt that there was something wrong in these berries. So he plucked these berries up, and he took them up to the evil, remover. You have these people who do the evil magic, and so that they find out if something is wrong. So he took these beans to these particular men who used to take out evil spirits, and he asked them whether these beans have created some evil spirit in my goats, because he was worried about his goats. And when the person there, he took the beans, he felt that they were kind of evil, because somebody dancing in the night and jumping is not a positive sign. So he put the beans in fire. But as soon as he put the beans in fire, the whole aroma of the beans burning created a very different feeling. And he had this saying that if something is bad and if it's put in fire, it smells bad. But these beans were smelling good, and hence it cannot be as evil, because it is something good. And that's how the whole thing of coffee beans being roasted and then later on being used as consumption as beverage began. So there is a history behind it, that it was definitely accidental, and that's how the roasting process began. Today we know the world consumes a lot of coffee in terms of it. Tracing its history, since it was very popular in the Islam religion, where wine or any kind of alcohol is not permitted, coffee became the beverage of choice because it gave them the benefits of relaxation, calming down, and also many health benefits. So coffee became primarily the wine of Islam, and every person, had this practice of consuming coffee every day. Trading of coffee began, and if you know that Yemen is the place where it started to spread from, a place called Mocha, and we have coffees named with Mocha coffee also. So that's how the whole tradition began. Even if you go now to the Muslim countries, especially the Saudi and all these countries, you'll see that there is this particular culture of coffee drinking. Even in the desert, if you go out, they will have this particular tent set up, and they will, brew their own coffee. It's kind of a celebration. So why they do that is because it keeps them alert and awake, even in the night when they are traveling. It also makes them feel more energetic. It gives them the particular, you can say, the vigor and vitality to be healthy. So this all triggered the expansion of coffee in the part of the Muslim-dominated countries, and that's why in Turkey, in Yemen, in Saudi, all this coffee started spreading. So what exactly, coffee contains? Coffee is basically, you can say the active ingredient of coffee is caffeine. And caffeine triggers the whole functions that we see of a coffee. While it contains other carboxylic acids and different acids, the basic element is caffeine. And what caffeine does is caffeine stimulates your nervous system. And because it stimulates your nervous system, it actually keeps the whole system active. And after you drink your coffee, you realize that, you're in a state of more alertness, more awakeness. And this is not only good for your own consciousness, but also to your physical body, because every organ is now stimulated to function better. Now, if you look at it, there are pros and cons that people talk about caffeine. Caffeine immediately gives you the benefits of, being very active, making you stimulates your system and everything. But down the line, caffeine itself becomes a problem because one gets addicted to caffeine. Because once you're in the habit of taking a factor like that can induce and stimulate your nervous system, you tend to become used to it, and that is why people talk that coffee is not good. Second, it turns out to be acidic too, and being acidic, it really causes a lot of other problems in later on. And today, what the coffee we drink added with sugar and tea, it has become worse because sugar itself is very acidic. Tea combined with coffee actually is not good at all. So the whole combination of the coffee drinking style that we have is really very acidic, and people today are not benefiting from the benefits that they should get from the coffee. But what has happened here, if you look, is these many health benefits of coffee that you see on screen that I'm showing. It's really, really loaded with antioxidants. And why I say it's loaded with antioxidant is any natural product, or it could be a fruit, flower, leaf. If it is rich in these dense colors, dark colors like the black, blue, green, whatever it is, if they are dense in colors, you should be sure that it is rich in antioxidants. And when you look at coffee is really, really blackish brown, and it's loaded with antioxidants. And this itself is one of the basic factors that it can help as an anti-aging, as a cleansing, as a detoxifier. And because it cleans up and detoxifies your body, it has also the advantage of actually improving your physical performance. You have more vitality, more strength, more vigor to do your normal activity, as well as if you're working out in the gym. Nowadays, there's a new fad, if you go to a gym, the gym instructor says that, you should have a nice black coffee and come, because it actually improves your physical performance. It acts like a booster or a steroid so that you can do better, So that's how the benefits of coffee are. Because you're taking coffee every day, you're taking antioxidants every day. This increases your life expectancy, decreases your mortality. Coffee also reduces the risk of many conditions like Alzheimer's. Again, as I said, it is because it triggers the nervous system. And many neurological problems over the long term can be benefited by regular consumption of coffee, especially Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, or any neurological conditions. Could be kinds of different types of epilepsy also, or stroke also. Metabolically, if you look at it, without the sugar that we take, the kind of sugar and the milk, if you take black coffee, it really helps type 2 diabetes because it helps in bringing down the sugar levels. Coffee as a basically beverage is a very bitter beverage, and the only reason we add sugar is to mask the bitterness. But the fact that it is bitter makes it better. We have to know that we have to take it in its natural form, not masking it with loads of sugar. So only then can you get the benefits of coffee. Coffee is very good for the heart. Again, it improves cardiac function. It improves the the blood flow within your arteries. It prevents arterial clogging. It prevents any kind of damage, internal damage to the arterial walls. It cleans or scrapes off all the lipids and bad cholesterol that gets accumulated over time in your arterial system and venous system. So again, fantastic for the heart diseases also. For cancer, coffee, again, without sugar and without milk, is very, very beneficial because, again, rich in antioxidants. Second, it definitely is a kind of little acidic, but it prevents, it keeps the whole system awake. If you look at cancer, cancer is kind of a sluggish condition in which the whole process of growth happens because the body has become more self-destructive. And here, when you wake yourself up every time, you are actually helping yourself heal and being in a state of awareness. And that is why it really helps in cancer. There are many other reasons that studies have shown that it helps in cancer too. Cirrhosis, liver cirrhosis. The elimination of caffeine is definitely through your kidneys, but it has to pass through the liver. And while it passes through the liver, coffee does an amazing thing. It detoxifies and cleanses the liver. Liver is a place where you will see most of the fat deposition because that's where glucose synthesis takes place. So when it passes through the liver, it actually helps in reducing the extra load of sugar that the liver tends to store. Also, people who are on alcohol, and you see, they also have conditions of the liver because again, the liver has to go through cleaning up the blood. But with coffee, you're actually helping the liver heal itself. And so it helps in a lot of liver conditions. And again, as I said, it is eliminated through the kidneys. So it definitely benefits the kidneys and can prevent kidney problems like kidney failure. I'm sure it is one of the best beverages that we should be consuming every day. Our ancestors, especially in the Western world, were consuming it as a beverage of choice. Since it is a part of a fruit body of a plant, while tea is the leaf part, we have a fruit part. Fruit part contains more nutrition, more benefits for your human body. Then what is it? Why aren't we getting the benefits of coffee in that form? Because coffee needed to change. Because coffee, as I said, it can pass through the kidneys, but unfortunately, being acidic, it does not have the it does not have the diuretic effect. It can take a long time to pass through your kidneys, so it remains in your system. The more the caffeine remains in your system, your body tends to become acidic, and in the long run, the same coffee which was supposed to give you benefits, which will probably land up giving you problems. And that is what we have seen. People who have consumed coffee for a long time have also had a lot of problems. They could have had acidity, constipation, skin problems, and the answer was not in not taking the coffee. The answer was in finding the right combination of coffee with something else. And that's where, if you look at it, we have in DXN a blend of coffee with Ganoderma. Now, when I say blend of coffee with Ganoderma, means I'm talking about coffee which is a stimulant, I'm talking about a coffee which, gives you the vitality and vigor to do things. And the active ingredient of coffee, and the ones that we use, is the top variety, the Arabica coffee from the Ethiopian region. So we have the best variety of coffee. And the caffeine, when it goes into your system, it does its job. But added with Ganoderma, which now changes the whole thing. When you add Ganoderma to coffee, you're adding a diuretic into a coffee. So coffee basically does its job, but with Ganoderma, caffeine does not remain in your system for long. And same acidic coffee is now turned into an alkaline coffee, which causes more urination, through which the detoxification process is much more better. So while you get the health benefits of the coffee, you are now getting the benefits of a healthy coffee, an alkaline coffee, without any side effects. And this is why, if you look at the DXN world, one of the best products that is sold in the DXN world is the coffee, because you're getting the benefits of the coffee without the side effects, and the coffee is turned alkaline. And today's topic of discussion was to the 2-in-1 and the 3-in-1 coffee. So I always get a question, the 3-in-1 coffee, what is the difference between the 3-in-1 and 2-in-1? Basically, if you look at it, 3-in-1 is nothing but a little sugar content in it. This is for the people who want to enter into the system, who cannot take in a bitter coffee directly. 3-in-1 is a very good choice. It was when I was introduced. I like the taste of 3-in-1. It was a good blend of coffee, so I liked it. The soya milk and the sugar. It was easy, palatable. I could accept it. And that's where I kept making that as my choice, beverage of choice. But with time, after you're palatable, I always suggest people to move to 2-in-1, because that's where you'll get the maximum healing effect. And when you start realizing, oh yes, the 3-in-1, I need to move to 2-in-1 for health benefits. 3-in-1 is good for the palatability, the benefit. Both are good. But if you ask me, 2-in-1 is more healthier, because it absolutely is dark black coffee. And the way to make it is very simple. Boil the water, put half a cup, half a sachet of 3-in-1. Some enjoy the complete sachet also. For the black coffee, you can boil it up and make it in combination according to your taste, more darker, more strong, depends. So here you have the benefits of coffee with DXN. And I believe, when we travel, when we are at home, I usually bring around 6 to 8 cups of coffee. I would say a glass, because I know it causes diuresis, and it's the best thing to take, because it is going to flush my system off. Again, being coffee being very healthy for my intestines, is also going to help my intestines. So I keep on drinking it. It's my beverage of choice wherever I go. So I believe that's the amazing combinations of coffee that we have in DXN. As I said, now we have cordyceps coffee. Very soon I heard we are going to come up with lion's mane coffee. So many things. We are going to use coffee as a beverage, through which we are going to give other mushrooms, so that you get the benefits of the same. And now, who should be drinking it? Everyone, anytime. That is the thing. And you can, it's safe for everyone. Even children can enjoy if they like to. You can make coffee shakes. You can make different types of drinks with coffee. And for even in pregnancy, it's not harmful. Any condition, for diabetes, for example, I would prefer to go with 2-in-1. Again, for any neurological problems, again, 2-in-1 is always a better choice. Remember, I said 3-in-1 is for entry, so that somebody falls in love, And after they fall in love with the taste, you can always suggest them to go to the healthy one, the 2-in-1. And that's how you can actually have coffee, one of your primary products, through which you can introduce Ganoderma to the people. And that's how people will get to know about Ganoderma. And then our ultimate aim is, through the coffee, we reach people to explain about Ganoderma, so that they sometimes start taking the complete RGL. That's our primary purpose, because that's going to be the thing that is going to work in them. Yeah. So this is what I can share about coffee in short. It is sugar, okay, but not an artificial sweetener. It's natural sugar. It's natural sugar. We are not using any artificial stuff in any of our products. So it's a natural sugar, but a little of it. As I said, people ask me, because I talk about being against sugar. So they ask me, then why do you recommend 3-in-1? Because I said, but that is the entry point. You need little. I'm not saying much. You can definitely enjoy this our Lingzhi 3-in-1. Yeah, if you cut down on other sugars, unnecessary sugars. Yeah. So yes, there is. I agree to it. There is, but not an artificial sweetener. It's a natural sugar.
And doctor, other thing is, how many cups you can consume a day?
Which one?
Say 2-in-1.
As much as you can. 2-in-1, there is no limit. I can keep on drinking around 20 also. That is how 2-in-1 is. 2-in-1 is nothing but, it is just going to be, coffee going in with Ganoderma and coming out. The more you drink, the more flushing you're going to have. And it is going to be one of the most easiest way you can, trigger healing in your body, because you will be active. So if you really are like a kind of a worker who has a lot of mental work, like you're a physician, you're a lawyer, or something who does sedentary job, and a software engineer or something, we tend to have these habit of taking something like a bubble gum, or taking coffee breaks or something. That's where you should realize we do overconsumption. And when you go back to our 2-in-1, you can drink as much as you can the whole day, and it's going to benefit you. Why? Because after you drink the coffee, like a mug full of coffee, even if you're stressed out and working, like you're working on a computer and you're very busy, after exactly 45 minutes, you're going to have a trigger of diuretics, and you're going to rush, you're going to forget everything and go to the washroom. This little relaxation, it's also enough for you to relax and continue again. You getting my point?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Constipation. So there is a question, by using 2-in-1 and 3-in-1, whether the people will get constipation or not. The constipation.
Okay. Yeah, no. With coffee, you don't get constipation, not with our coffee. Why? Because the content of sugar for us is only for taste. We don't add like spoonful of sugar. But what I have seen somewhere, people, what they do is they take 2-in-1 coffee, and on the top they add two spoonful of sugar in it, just to have the taste of it. Now, sugar is acidic, as I said. Sugar will trigger constipation for sure. So if you're doing something like that, I think you should stop it. If you want it sweet, you go for 3-in-1. If you don't want it sweet and you're ready to take the original coffee taste, you can go with 2-in-1. Coffee does not constipation, but yes, if you have already dry skin, I remember I told you last time, if you don't apply oil to your skin on the out, and it's dry on the out, make sure, if it is for sure that your skin inside is also dry. So make sure that your oil application on the externally and internally, taking a virgin coconut oil or virgin olive oil, these things is there. Morinzi helps a lot in again constipation. So if you're running one, I don't tell that coffee causes loose motions. Many a time we use it. If you have loose motions, we use it so that you have better stools formation. So, but it definitely does not cause constipation for sure.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, there is one more question from my side.
Okay.
In 2-in-1 and 3-in-1, is the Ganoderma percentage is very similar, equal, or it's different?
Oh, that's a little technical one, but I think so. It will be similar, but I can get back to you technically on that with
Okay.
more information, if that is okay.
Most of the people used to ask this question when we are going for a meeting.
I understand. But what I will do is, because what happens is region to region, and there I've seen little changes in it.
Okay.
So for Sri Lanka, I will definitely ask. Because here in Europe they want something else, and everywhere it is little different, and the company has to adapt its packaging. But ideally, what I know is, even the tea and coffee, we have some percentage, a very little percentage of Ganoderma. That is enough for the diuresis. The active ingredient of the coffee is the coffee itself. Please understand, when I say coffee with DXN coffee, it's the coffee itself that is the active ingredient. But when we add Ganoderma, we don't let the caffeine remain in the system. And that is the advantage that we have over any other coffee in the market. Coffee will work wonders. Coffee will work wonders on diabetes patient if they make it their beverage of choice, and not the 3-in-1. I'm talking about the 2-in-1. Now, drinking plain water is one choice, and drinking coffee is another choice. What I prefer is, rather than putting only plain water, if you could, every 2 hours or so, take a nice mug full of black coffee, it will really help. And it should be the DXN with Ganoderma. So what it does, it basically really helps stimulate the pancreas so that their function improves the insulin production improves, the sugar metabolism becomes better. Because if you see, understand, sugar is a component that is found in the blood. Blood elimination or purification is done through the kidneys in the form of urine. That is why when in a diabetes patient, when the sugar levels go very high, it is eliminated out in the form of urine, and then you have sugar in the urine. So understand, when we use coffee with Ganoderma, we are using the same process. Without the accumulation of sugar in the blood, we are actually eliminating it out. So the best way to eliminate the excess sugar out before the body does it, and we land up into a condition where we have diabetes, we should be taking this every day. And that is how you can prevent, if you are running a family history of diabetes, if you have a lifestyle that can be a causative factor for diabetes, beverage of choice should be coffee. Coffee, definitely, and in a black one. And as much as you can, at least 6 times in a day, a cup, a mug, enough. Yeah. Now, when you have flatulence or you have bloating, remember, it is because something has reacted with something. Now, when I say ours is more alkaline stuff, when you take, our food stuff, our coffee, our products are mostly based alkaline products. Now, when you look at, if somebody has an acidic body and already a constipated intestine, the acid level there and the coffee there will interact, and you'll have gas formation, which is but natural. So what I suggest in this case is the person should also parallelly start taking Lingzhi so that he builds up his intestinal flora better. Second, he start taking at least 1 or 2 spoonful of virgin coconut oil or olive oil. And you all in Sri Lanka, I'm sure you have a lot of milk also. The coconut milk is also very good for such conditions. And then you keep on drinking your coffee. Coffee will trigger. If it can trigger flatulence, can you imagine? Flatulence is a sign that it is at least letting pass something out. So it is triggering the peristalsis in your intestine. Then it's a good sign. But the only thing is, we need to work. It's giving you an indication, and we need to work towards it by other means, like Lingzhi. You can start taking Lingzhi. This will really help. According to your taste, you can boil water more than around 80 to 100 degrees Celsius. Then some like it mild. So, for, as I said, if you want to drink the whole day long, 1 sachet or 2 sachet, you can dilute it accordingly. So I prefer, 1/4 of it with a nice big mug of water, because I like that taste. I want more fluids. Some I have seen go with very concentrated with less, fluid. You can use it. For example, if you want to go for weight loss, you can go for concentrated 2-in-1. But if you're all okay and you just want it as a beverage of cleanse, then you can have it with a lot of water, a more milder one, depending on your taste. It all depends on your taste. No. I am not an advocate. I don't support milk powders. That's the real purpose, right? Why do we keep it as black coffee, 2-in-1? If you want a little, milk in it, the soya milk is much better than milk powder. That is where you go with 3-in-1. But I am a firm believer, take coffee in its natural form. We are in 2-in-1, there is only coffee and Ganoderma. That's the best thing. Yes, if you want a little taste in it, you can go with 3-in-1. But for me, if you ask me, don't add any milk or any sugar into it. It is going to, not give you the benefits of it. Natural sweeteners are always welcome. The idea is, now when you look at stevia is fine. You can use that. But if somebody likes the taste, I tried it. I did not like it. But using an artificial, sweetener, which nowadays diabetic people use, for some time it is good. But you please try to make them understand that you can change your flora, your tongue flora. The taste buds can be changed in 15 days. They only need to do something for 15 days and they will start loving it. Because the bitterness, why we dislike bitter taste is because we have very little taste buds of bitter, because we have never given any taste to our tongue for bitterness that our taste buds can survive. That is why we don't like the bitterness. Why do we crave for sugar is because we have so many sugar taste buds in on our tongue, because we have been feeding it, so they keep on thriving. Now you have to do the exactly opposite. You start feeding the bitter taste buds. What will happen is bitter taste buds will now multiply on your flora of your tongue. And once that happens, you will see that you will now dislike sugar and you will start liking the bitter things like coffee. And that's a fact. So you can develop taste. Yes, if somebody is very adamant, you can give him a suggestion, but he can definitely stop telling them to put too much sugar into coffee, the white sugar. Stop telling them to put milk into it, taking in its natural form. Milk individually is good. Sugar individually is also not good.